The elevator never stopped. Not once. 20 floors straight up. And when the doors opened, a man was dead. But the data doesn't lie.
Monday morning, Grayford Tower. At 8:12 a.m., Ethan Cole stepped into the elevator in the lobby. Security cameras showed him alone. The elevator doors closed. It moved directly to the 20th floor. No stops, no interruptions. But when the doors opened, Ethan collapsed. Dead. Sub-Inspector Rao looked at Mara. This doesn't make sense. Mara stepped inside the elevator slowly. Good, she said quietly. Cases that don't make sense usually mean someone worked very hard to make them look that way. Mara turned to Rao. Who had problems with Ethan? Rao checked his file. 3 people. Mark Denson, Lisa Grant, Ryan Holt. Mara nodded. Let's talk to them. Later that afternoon, the forensic report arrived. Rao read it twice, then frowned. This makes even less sense. Mara looked up. What did they find? Rao replied, no poison, no trauma, no internal bleeding. He slid the report toward her. Cause of death, heart attack. Mara read it carefully. A healthy man, early 40s. Rao nodded. No known heart condition. Silence filled the room for a moment. Rao finally said, so he just died? Mara didn't answer immediately. Instead, she opened the CCTV footage again. Maybe, but not for the reason everyone thinks. Mara started her questioning with Mark Denson. Mark looked nervous. Rao asked directly, you had a financial dispute with Ethan? Mark sighed. It wasn't a dispute. It was business. Mara studied him. Did he threaten to expose you? Mark's silence lasted 2 seconds too long. That's not a no, Mara said calmly. I didn't kill him. Where were you at 8:12 a.m.? In the parking garage. Camera confirms that, Rao said. Mara nodded slowly. Interesting.
Then Mara questioned Lisa Grant. Lisa crossed her arms. You think I killed him because of the investigation? Rao looked up from his notes. Ethan reported your department for data manipulation. Lisa's eyes sharpened. That investigation ruined my career. Mara didn't react emotionally. I think motive explains anger, she said, not murder. Lisa leaned forward. I wasn't even near the elevator. Rao checked the record. She entered the building at 8:20, after the incident. Mara made a note. All right. Then came the turn of Ryan Holt. Ryan arrived a few minutes later. Unlike the others, he didn't look nervous. Just tired. I heard something happened in the elevator, he said. That's bad for the building. Mara studied him briefly. You work here? Maintenance supervisor. Rao nodded. He handles elevators, access systems, mechanical checks. Ryan shrugged lightly. Mostly routine stuff. Mara asked casually, were you in the building this morning? Yeah. Around 8. Did you see Ethan? Ryan thought for a moment. Maybe in the lobby? Not sure. Rao flipped through a few notes and spoke almost casually. You worked at Northline Manufacturing before this job, right? Ryan's expression changed slightly. Yeah. Long time ago. That place shut down a few years back, Rao said. Ryan nodded slowly. My brother worked there. Silence for a moment. Mara watched him carefully. Rao added, I heard a lot of employees blamed the management for what happened. Ryan gave a short reply. People lost everything. Mara asked calmly, was Ethan involved with that company? Ryan paused briefly. I heard he had some connection. Then he quickly added, but that was years ago. Mara nodded once. All right? Ryan seemed relieved the questions were over. As he left the room, Rao leaned closer to Mara. That was quick. Mara replied quietly. People usually reveal more later, when they believe the questions are finished. Back at the control room, Rao frowned. Everyone has motive. But no one was inside the elevator. Mara replied quietly. That's the point. Rao looked at her. What do you mean? Mara turned the monitor toward him. Look carefully.
Mara slowed down the video footage, frame by frame. Ethan entering, pressing the floor button, waiting. Then suddenly, he flinched. Rao leaned closer. "Wait, what was that?" Mara spoke softly. A reaction to something unexpected. Rao frowned. "But there's no one else there." Mara zoomed the footage slightly, then paused again. "Look at his hand." Rao squinted. "I don't see anything." Mara replied quietly. "A tiny point, right after he presses the emergency button." Rao looked confused. "But the report said heart attack." Mara nodded. "Yes, and that's exactly why this was clever." She spoke slowly. "Some toxins don't appear in standard toxicology. They trigger cardiac arrest." Rao's eyes widened. "So the autopsy wouldn't detect it?" Mara nodded once. "Which means the killer expected the death to look natural."
Mara asked the building technician, "Can someone hide something inside this panel?" "Yes," the technician said, "during maintenance." Mara turned back to Rao. "Who had access to the system last night?" Rao answered quietly, "Maintenance." The panel was opened. Inside it, a tiny device, a micro-injector. The technician said softly, "This shouldn't be here." Mara nodded slowly. "It activates when someone presses the emergency button." Rao frowned. "But why would Ethan press that? The elevator didn't stop." Mara pointed at the footage again. "Watch closely." They replayed it. Just before Ethan flinched, the lights inside the elevator flickered. A brief shake followed. Small, but noticeable. Rao's eyes widened. "So the elevator malfunctioned?" "Not exactly," Mara said. "It was made to look like it was failing." She continued calmly. "A controlled disturbance in the system. A sudden jerk. Lights flickering." Rao understood. "And anyone inside would panic?" "Yes. And press the emergency button." Mara nodded. "Ryan didn't gamble on panic. He engineered it." Rao looked back at the injector. "So when Ethan pressed the button, it injected poison. The killer never needed to be inside the elevator." Mara's voice remained calm. "The murder happened automatically." Ryan tried to stay composed. "This proves nothing." Mara spoke quietly. "Actually, it proves everything." She placed the report on the table. "You accessed the elevator control override last night." Ryan stayed silent. "You modified the system to trigger a brief malfunction." Still silence. Then Mara said something unexpected. "You do realize something, Ryan." He looked up. "You could have killed anyone." Rao added, "If someone else entered that elevator instead of Ethan." Mara finished the sentence calmly. "They would have died." Ryan's jaw tightened. Then Mara revealed the final truth. "You weren't trying to kill Ethan." Silence filled the room. Mara continued. "You were waiting for Mark Denson." Everyone looked at Mark. Mark's face changed instantly. Mara explained calmly. "Mark arrives every morning between 8:10 and 8:15. He always rides the elevator alone to the 20th floor." She looked back at Ryan. "And you knew that?" Ralph frowned. "But why Mark?" Mara answered quietly.
"Because 3 years ago, Mark signed the final contract that shut down the factory where Ryan's brother worked. Ryan didn't know that at first. He believed Ethan was responsible. But during his own investigation, digging through old company records and internal documents, he discovered the decision actually came from Mark." The room went still. His brother died during the layoffs crisis that followed. Ryan finally spoke. "It wasn't supposed to be him." His voice cracked slightly. "It was supposed to be Mark." Mara nodded once. "But Ethan entered the elevator first." Ryan looked down. And that was enough. As officers took Ryan away, Rao shook his head. "I would never have thought of that." Mara looked at the elevator one last time. Murders built on systems are dangerous. Because systems don't choose victims. People do. Grayford believed the elevator was safe. After that day, it wasn't.